Okay, I am filming this video to demonstrate the intarsia knitting technique that we'll be using to create the stripes in this scarf. It's also the same intarsia technique you would use for any intarsia knitting, so you can use it anywhere you like. Anyway, my next stitch is the one that I want to switch from my purple yarn to my yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my needle as I ordinarily would to knit. And then I'm even going to take my purple yarn, even though I don't want this stitch to be purple, I'm going to wrap it very loosely around the needle, as like so. Then you can take your yellow yarn, where you do want your stitch to be, and wrap it as well and kind of tug it down past that purple strand so that when you actually go to knit, the purple is just pushed right off your needle and the yellow is the one that ends up as the loop. And now you can see what has happened is that if you tug on your yellow to kind of straighten things out here, you'll see the purple yarn is in front of the yellow, and so that when you make your next stitch, it gets trapped and it will keep your piece from gapping or having any funny holes. So let's see that again. Okay, now I've reached the place where I want my yellow to turn into my pink, so I'm going to do the same thing as before. I'm going to insert my needle. I'm going to use my yellow strand, even though I don't want that one. I'm going to wrap it very loosely, and then I'm going to take my pink and wrap it down behind the yellow and tug it through so that when I actually bring the stitch off my needle, it's my pink stitch that comes through and not my yellow. As you can see, you can see that yellow strand down below the stitch. That's no big deal. All you have to do is tug it through. And then you can see it disappears, and then you can knit your next stitch. You may kind of have to move your strand so that it's not in your way when you knit that stitch, and then you see it gets trapped right between. So let's move on, and I'll show you how to do it on the purl side of the fabric next. Okay, as you can see, I've now reached the next place, or the first place I guess on my purl side, where I want to switch colors. I want to switch from my pink to my yellow. So it's basically the same technique you use on the right hand side. You're going to insert your needle as if to do the stitch, which here is a purl, so insert it purlwise. And then you're going to take your first color yarn, the one you don't want your stitch to be, wrap it very loosely so that when you get your next color yarn, the yellow, what I want my stitch to be, I can wrap it in front of the other yarn, pull it down through, and when I actually complete my purl, that pink yarn will just fall right off the needle and I will get my purl and my yellow. And once again, it's really easier to see on the wrong side. I've basically trapped my pink yarn in my yellow stitches so that I don't have a hole in my fabric. And you can always tug it out a little bit, again, if it's poking through the front side. So let's see that one more time. Right here, now that I've reached my next break, and I want to go from my yellow to my purple. So again, I'm going to take my right hand needle, insert it to purl, very loosely wrap my first color yarn, take the color I want to change to, wrap it tighter, tug it behind that first strand, which I let fall off the needle, and then I just keep going. And once again, sometimes the yarn does get kind of balled up, and all you got to do is tug it out. And that is how you do an intarsia color change without creating a hole in the fabric.